Hello and welcome to another episode of Small Church Pastor. Today we are going to talk about digital mixer. Do you need one or not? I think the answer is yes. Digital mixer that will enhance your church experience without breaking the budget when we come back. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Small Church Pastor. Again, I am your host, Leroy Gillis, and we just want to thank you for joining us. What is Small Church Pastor? Well, first, let's define what a small church is. A small church is defined according to statistics, a church that is under 500 members. Also, the statistics say that most churches in America are under 100 members. And so you may be a small church pastor. I pastor two churches here in the Central Texas area, and I've been pastoring now for over 10 years. And so I had to develop strategies to help be able to accomplish the mission with having a small or even no budget. So if you are watching Small Church Pastor, this could possibly benefit you. So before we get started, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you hit the little bell icon so that you can know when we're putting up new posts. We're going to try to post every week. So we're bringing to you tech insights, things that can help enhance the ministry. So today we're going to talk about a digital mixer. I came from the analog mixer days when we had analog mixers, and many of you that have been pastoring for a while, you remember those analog days, the big heavy mixers, the ones that weighed 100 pounds, and it took you and your buddy to help move that thing in and out of the church. But today is the day of digital, and digital mixers are on the market and really kind of taking over. Now, I was a little bit apprehensive about that at first, kind of pushed back a little bit, but once I started to see how the digital mixer could really help or enhance the ministry, and you know, some of them are expensive, but there are some mixers out there that are priced well. So today, what are we going to look at? We're going to look at the Behringer XR18. The Behringer XR18. It is a digital mixer that has, I want to make sure I get this right. It's the XR18, so which kind of leads you to believe, hey, there's 18 channels, which there are, 18 input channels, and this is a digital mixer, and it's got 18 input channels, and you have 6 auxiliary sends. 6 auxiliary sends. So what is the big deal about the digital mixer? Why do I need a digital mixer? My analog mixer works just fine. Well, that may be the case. But what the digital mixer offers is, first, a lot more flexibility. Usually in the old analog days, if it said aux, and that's pretty much what it was. And I guess one of the biggest differences is with a digital mixer, whatever you want that output to be, that's what it can be. It's all a matter of the routing. So the digital mixer, I think, will provide you much better service in your church environment. So when we're talking about the Behringer, let's look at it first. I believe that this is the XR18, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it comes in around $5.99, and I'll be posting a link below in this feed where you can click on it and get it. But as I said, it's got 18 sends, 18 inputs, 16 XLR, and 2 quarter inch inputs. The XLRs are great because they will also not only will it take an XLR input, but it'll also take a quarter inch plug. The first two inputs, channel 1 and channel 2, are high Z, so you can come right in with your keyboard, your guitar, your bass, and you don't even have to put a direct box on it. And so you can see that can be very, very useful in many situations. When you're looking at the XR18, one of the first things that sticks out is the form factor. This is a very small mixer, but do not let the size fool you. This XR18 will get the job done. And so we've got 16 input channels. So that means that you've got enough there for a few mics, put your entire drum kit in it, and really be able to get the job done without taking up a lot of space or a lot of room. The other thing that is great about this that I really liked were the auxiliary sends. This one has 6 aux sends, which is outstanding. With those aux sends, not only can you get monitor mixes out there to musicians, but you may want to do various different things you could do with aux sends. You can't have enough aux sends on a mixer, and so you've got the 6 aux sends, and of course you've got your main left and right. So what else is on this? Also, you have the ability here to actually plug up personal monitors. So Behringer makes a P16 personal monitor. That's a little small box. Maybe we'll do a review on it another time, but it's a little small box that allows you to put that box on stage close to your musician and connect to the XR18 via Ethernet cable. So you can run Cat 5. And so the days are out for trying to run that snake, but this mixer allows you to do a lot of things with Cat 5. Not only can you run the P16 directly from here, you also have MIDI in and out if you want to do that. It's got USB where you can connect directly to your laptop and be able to do some things there. Now, one of the great things about being able to connect to the laptop, that means that you can, if you download the Behringer, I think it's called the ASIO driver, that means that you can not only pull in 18 channels, but you can also put 18 channels back out to your DAW, which allows you to be able to record your mix. So you can record the mix, all doing that through the USB, and you can actually record live sessions and then use those same sessions and play them back through the USB and then be able to hear that output in the house. That is great for your worship band. They can go in and record, kind of get an idea of what it sounded like, listen back, make the adjustments. So that's great. One of the other great things about this Behringer is that, as you can see, you don't see any fader control. So that means that everything on this Behringer is actually done with the iPad. So let me get that real quickly here. This iPad, or it doesn't have to be iPad, it can be Android as well. But I'm using the iPad, and I'm going to try to make sure I'm getting this in the camera. You can see with this iPad, you've got all of your fader controls here, up and down. You got mutes. If you look at the top, you've got effects. This Behringer has, it's got a whole rack full of effects. It's got the Midas pre's on it, which, if you're an old sound guy, you remember how much those Midas pre's cost back in the 80s. But you've got various effects, reverbs, all different kind of stereo flanger, de-essers, many different. All of these are in the rack as far as effects that you can put on any channel. You can put this on any channel and be able to control each channel's mix. That is awesome. That is awesome. Awesome control you'll be able to do. You can see that you label the different channels. I think when we were doing this last time, we've got like wireless label, stage left. So these are just all different things that we, the last time we used this thing, lapel mic, wireless mic, mic in the organ, all of these different labels here that you put right in. You can go right in, and it's called scribble strips. You go in and label it so you kind of remember, oh, what was that? Your bus control, your buses control here 1 through 6, which is a bus with the Behringer is an aux send. You've got your effects here again. So all of this control is right on this Behringer, and that means for the guy with the small church, because I've been here. You're in a small church. Maybe you're the pastor of the small church. Sound guy doesn't show up. Wow, that's terrible. Or maybe the sound guy is there and you're not liking what the sound guy is doing, how his mix is sounding to you, Pastor. Well, you can hook up more than one iPad to the Behringer. So I think, I don't remember the exact number, but you can definitely have more than 3 hooked to this Behringer XR18. That means that you could be sitting in the pulpit and you can make the sound adjustment yourself, because pastors get frustrated. They get frustrated when it's not sounding right, and they're making evil faces at the sound guy. And so you can make that adjustment yourself from wherever you are in the building. And when you make your adjustment, it adjusts on all channels. So every iPad that's connected to this thing would change. And so that's a great option for the small church. Also, when you're traveling, if say your worship band is going somewhere, one of the other great things I like about this Behringer is, as I said, the form factor is so small. I can just throw this thing down on stage. Everybody can hook to it, and your setup could be so much shorter than a normal setup. So you don't have to necessarily have a snake with this, because you can actually put the Behringer on stage and be in the back of house with an iPad controlling front of house. And if you've got mixed monitors on the side, you can have another iPad on the side and have another sound tech kind of do side of house. And so those are some great things that you can do with this Behringer. I am really impressed with it. Now, I've been using this. I got this Behringer really when it first came out. I think it was about 3 years ago. So it's been out there. And so we've been using this Behringer XR18 for some years now. I've recommended it to some other churches, and they tell me it just revolutionized their sound and changing it. Now, it's got the equalizer on there, so you can EQ everything. It's been a while since I've used this particular Behringer. I'm going to see if I can go in and change it. Let me mention this also. See this button at the top, it says show. So you can actually, when you get your mix dialed in, you can actually save that mix on here, and it'll save to the Behringer. And so when you get to the place, maybe something doesn't sound right, you can recall the scene that you had set up here when it was sounding great, and it'll go back to those settings. And so that's great. When you're in a small church, it's what I love about digital mixers. Normally what happens with the old analog mixers, when you're in a small church, they come over for prayer during the week or some weekly service, and someone that does not know how to operate the mixer, they go to the mixer, they turn it on, and when they don't hear anything, they start messing with the dials and just sliding things until they get a sound. And then what happens when you come back to church and getting ready to do morning worship service, you're like, well, what's happened? And we say that maybe the devil got in the soundboard. No, it's not the devil that got in the soundboard. It's someone that didn't know how to use it or operate it. The great thing about the Behringer, when your sound guy gets it dialed in, he saves that scene. And so no matter whatever happens during the week, he can always recall that scene. Now, what we do at our church, we use the Behringer product. We use the X32. Maybe we could do a review on it another time. But as the band grew, we needed more channels, so we upgraded to a larger mixer. But what we do is on both this one and the other mixer that we use now currently, we have a setting for weekly services, because during the week they don't need a drum, maybe they don't need subwoofers, they don't need a lot of those things. Maybe some of your parishioners are coming over to have prayer, whatever it is, they usually need 1 or 2 microphones. So we have a setting for them so they can go and hit their setting, goes to that scene, and they're fine. They're loving it. And the sound guy loves it because, for one, he didn't have to be there just to cut on a microphone, and the sound is not all out of sorts. And so that's a great thing that you can do with this Behringer. And as I was saying, you also have the ability to, if I can get in one of these channels, I'll see. I don't know if I'll be able to do it or not, but you've got the ability to EQ these channels, or whatever channel it is. So you've got your band EQs on every channel. Let me show you here. So you can go in here, throw in some low cut, throw in some high cut. It's got some presets on here. Because remember, you're EQing each channel. You can go in and EQ each channel and then EQ your overall house sound. And so that means that you can really kind of dial in those drums and dial in those different instruments. This Behringer, it's a small package, but it does everything. It does almost everything that the larger Behringer X32 does. There are some limitations, but not many. It's got the same pre's, it's got the same effects, and at the price point, it's kind of hard to beat this. Now, I do know that Behringer, this is the XR18. We do a little music at both the churches that I pastor, and so we needed it. We needed 18 channels. But if you don't need 18 channels, Behringer, I do believe that they make an 8-channel. They make at least 2 Behringers that are smaller than this one, and I will put those in the link below as well. But I'm really recommending this. This thing is battle tested. It has done some shows. We've done both church shows and all type of shows with this XR18. It's battle tested, folks. So if you're a small church pastor and you're trying to really get that media department, that audio department off the ground. They've been telling you, Pastor, we need a new mixer. We need to upgrade our sound. I think this would be a real good place for you to start. It's the Behringer XR18. I will check the price. I do believe it's $5.99 or $6.99. Don't get upset with me, but I'll get the correct price when we post this video. But this is a great product for your local church. Does everything. So again, we want to thank you. We're doing this podcast. Actually, we're doing it with another piece of gear that I got, and we've got a review that we're working on, trying to review this RODECaster Pro. And if you're not really doing podcasting kind of stuff, maybe, Pastor, it might not be something you need, but we'll do a review on it. It may be something that you want to pick up as well. So anyway, want to thank you so much for being a part of our podcast today. This is Leroy Gillis, small church pastor, and just make sure, I'm going to ask you again, like this channel. We want to keep this content rolling out at you. We're excited about what we're being able to do here in our church. We've set up a studio in our church to try to get information out to the kingdom, get information out to people that are trying to get better. Our goal is to make the kingdom better, and any tips or things that I've discovered over the years of pastoring churches under 100 members. I'm not ashamed to say it. Pastoring churches like that, we have learned how to get the job done without breaking the budget. Again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching us. Look for us. Church House TV is another one of our links. Church House TV is another one you can catch some of our content on. And we want you to be blessed and make sure that you're increasing the kingdom. This is Leroy Gillis, small church pastor.